You're watching Newsday. Glad to have you. Now, President John Magufuli of Tanzania is dead. The East African president, a prominent COVID-19 skeptic in Africa, whose populist rule often cast his East African country in a harsh international spotlight, has died at the age of 61 and at a hospital in Dar es Salaam, the Indian Ocean port of the country. His death was announced on Wednesday by the vice president, who said the cause of Magufuli's death was heart failure. Meanwhile, opposition politicians in Tanzania had earlier alleged that he was sick from COVID-19. Magufuli was one of Africa's most prominent deniers of COVID-19. He had said last year that Tanzania had eradicated the disease through 3 days of national prayer.
Well, joining us now from Bournemouth is Paul Ejime, a global affairs expert. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us. Devastating news for Tanzanians at a time like this. But do you think that it came as a surprise, given that his health and his whereabouts had been shrouded in secrecy and speculations for the past 3 weeks?
Thank you for having me. Well, not really as a surprise, because the indications were there, and he had, like your report said, he had been in denial of the fact that COVID-19 is in the country. In fact, last year, you remember, he conducted a session of prayers and said the country was free, and even also went ahead to organize what he called maybe an African way of treating the disease. The people moving into rooms where you have water heaters, and then they come out sweating, and then he thought he had we sympathize with him, but this was really self-inflicted kind of death on a man that 61 was called a bulldozer because of the way he started, even though at a later date he was accused of being, operating like a dictator, very authoritarian. He was elected in 2015 and then came back with a re-election, even though it was also very disputed election last year. So, but that is it. This disease cannot be taken lightly. It has done so much devastation in Africa. Many elites have gone in South Africa, Swaziland, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Tanzania, Burundi, Guinea, even Ghana. So Libya. These are places the disease has come in. It has come from perhaps recklessness and irresponsibility in handling it. I don't know. There is nothing to lose in adhering to the protocols.
But Paul, we must state that the official statement given by the vice president in that televised national address yesterday said he died from a heart failure and not COVID-19.
Well, that is the official version. But this was a man who was 2 weeks away from public view and speculations. And so when he himself had gave rise or encouraged this type of speculation before he died, because what did he have to lose? Or the country has a lot to lose now, because, and I hope that if all things go well, Madam Samia Suluhu will now take over, and I don't think they are going to follow his template anymore. Just like in the U.S., there was a Trump that didn't believe in so much in the disease, but you have seen the difference when President Biden came in. Africa has a lot to do in terms of ramping up. They should be consolidating what they are doing to make sure that the disease is out of the continent. Okay. Whatever it takes. It doesn't cost much, yeah.
Okay, Paul, I'm glad you mentioned his successor. It looks very likely now that Samia Hassan Suluhu will take over from him. She's hit several firsts, first female vice president and now first female president of Tanzania. And some have said that because he was relatively divisive towards the latter part, she stands to inherit quite a divided administration. What's your thought on the kind of legacy he leaves behind for his successor? Magufuli, I mean.
Very much so. Very much so, very much so. But well, we trust women. I mean, I think the trend now is that women should take over, that the men have failed. She will be the third woman president that Africa will have. After Ellen Sirleaf Johnson in Liberia, and then Joyce Bundu of Malawi. I hope that she will do well. And also taking from, look at in other parts of the world, the 7 or so countries where, that have managed this virus very effectively were all led by women. I mean, you can check it out. So perhaps this is a blessing in disguise for Tanzania and then for Africa. Don't worry that I'm having coming down on men. I'm a man, but I think with women are much more. They pay more attention to detail, and will care. That about the nation. She has become the mother of the nation at 61, and I hope she will. Apart from starting with the COVID struggle, the COVID fight, she will also look into the economy, the social welfare, health, and other issues of governance. So, but there is, he comes with a lot of hope.
Okay, I mean, some points you've highlighted in the course of our conversation so far, and I just want to ask you, what sort of legacy does Magufuli leave behind? He was a known COVID-19 skeptic. However, he was popular in Tanzania, dubbed the bulldozer because of his fight against corruption, cleansing of the civil service. So, in your opinion, what sort of legacy does he leave behind?
Well, mixed in the sense that, well, he, like you said, he started very well fighting corruption, but he has not ended very well. I mean, that is one thing. It's a race, life race, governance, and then life is about. Some people start very well, but they end very badly. Some start badly and end, well. In his own case, it's mixed. Some will, anyway, and the death of anybody should not be. Nobody should gloat over it. But he has played his part, and I think that is what it is. He has left the stage. It is now left for those to pick up the pieces, and that is why Madam Hassan has a job cut off for her, to make sure that Tanzania does not regress, but also move forward.
Okay, let's look at the immediate, the most prominent challenge she faces, which is the COVID-19 challenge. What is the status of the vaccine skepticism there in Tanzania, and what sort of numbers are we seeing currently? So what sort of a task does she have in terms of reversing those numbers?
She really has, she has to go down, to the basics. Because here there was no figures, there were no facts. You didn't have anything to work with. They didn't know. In fact, it's a case of we don't have the disease, and that is not possible. People were still dying, so they will now have to go back, to the drawing board to look at how they will be able to get, the figures through testing, because that's the only way you can know. Whatever figure they bring out now is not going to be factual. So they need to now go do the due diligence to be able to get tests, first of all, and ramp up public enlightenment and then mobilization to tell the people that what the word of a leader matters. You saw what happened with President Trump, somehow President Trump. The leader has to lead. He has to show direction and leadership. And so I think if for the doubters or those he was able to get to his corner, now they see that he couldn't stand, the disease has taken him. So I think that will change the mindset, I hope, to the fact that this disease exists. What do we do to stem it, to control it? You do that through health protocols.
Right. Paul Ejime, thank you so much for your thoughts on the development from Tanzania, where the president, John Magufuli, has died.